So let's say you guys want to start riding motorcycles. One of the main things that you're going to come across is what beginner bike should you get. So that's what this video is going to be about, is talking about what bike you should pick up. Because there are so many out there. There are so many different options that a lot of people are going to say. And I want to give my personal opinion on what I think the best beginner bikes are. So one of the main things that you're going to see when searching for a beginner bike is people saying to start on a 600. And some people to even say to start on a leader bike, which is 1000cc. Now both those options, completely rule them out in my book. There's no reason for you to be on a bike that has that much power, that is that big, and that has that many capabilities. And the reason why people say that, and probably why you want to get that, because in your mind you're thinking, oh well, I'm going to outgrow the bike so quickly. But in reality, you're not going to be outgrowing your beginner bike as quickly as you think. You may never technically outgrow it. Now let me explain why. So a lot of people just base that statement off of top speed and how fast you can go in a straight line. But if you know anything about motorcycles, that is not just the only usage that people have for these, is going in a straight line. Anybody can go fast in a straight line. That's not what's hard. Anybody can literally just go like this, tuck, and forward. That's not difficult. But what is harder and takes time to learn is the dynamics of a bike at low speeds, maneuvering it through corners, going through turns, pushing the bike to its full capabilities. Because motorcycles are designed to be thrown over really hard at speeds and to lean them really far over. They're designed for far much more than just going fast in a straight on the highway. Of course that's fun, I'm not saying don't do that, but it's my reasoning on why you're not going to be outgrowing a 300 or 400 bike anytime soon, is because that bike has so much potential and you're not going to reach that. How fast do you think you will? So that's the first argument, is people saying you're going to outgrow it because they're too slow. Speed should not be your primary focus when you're a beginner rider. Top speed should be the last thing you're focusing on when you're learning to ride motorcycles. You guys need to focus on braking quickly. You guys need to focus on emergency maneuvers if something pops out in front of you. You guys need to focus on using your regular control. You guys need to focus on other things like rev matching, upshifting, also body positioning, how to grip the handlebars, how to release your clutch when you're first getting out of first gear. And then also learn about what can go wrong on these, like the depth wobble. Learn about how to maintain the chain, how to know what's proper chain tension, how to know what your current PSI is and what it should be. There's so many other things, and what happens is people just get too focused on, oh well, how fast can I go in a straight line? And that's the mistake that a lot of beginner riders make, which leads to them getting themselves hurt because they focus on the wrong thing. So back to what beginner bike should you get. You should not be getting a 600cc bike. You should not be getting a 1000cc bike. You should be getting something no more, in my opinion, than 400cc's for your first bike. I know if you're in America, you can buy whatever you want, but don't do that. Don't get whatever you want. It's what's smartest. I know in other countries, they have limits where you have to start at like 50cc's, 125 and 250, things like that. What bike I think that you should get, let's say you guys want a sport bike. So this is a bike with fairings. This is going to be the pretty similar appearance to my R7. You should get a Yamaha R3, or you should get a Ninja 400. There are a lot of other bikes around that power level from other brands, but those are just my two personal favorites for a beginner bike. And if you want a naked style bike, which is a bike that has more upright seating, your bars are more higher up, it's more comfortable, and there are no fairings on the bike, that is considered a naked bike, then you should get a Yamaha MT-03 or a Kawasaki Z400. And the reasoning why is because, of course, it has a lower power level, so you're at so much of a lower risk to get hurt if you accidentally twist the throttle, you're not going to go flying off. You're not able to go too fast and hurt yourself. Those bikes still get up to like 115 miles an hour, so they're still plenty quick, plenty fast. People underestimate how quick those light bikes are. It has more than enough power for you to learn the basics on motorcycle riding. And the benefits to getting a bike like that is because they have a low seat height. And why that's important is because when you get on a bike, and let's say you're on a 1000cc bike, that bike is very high up. So if you're an average height, you are most likely not going to be touching the ground. And tippy-toeing, we're not even touching at all, and you have to lean it over to touch the ground. And you're not going to feel as comfortable as you should for when you're first learning how to ride. So it's why those lower cc bikes have a lower seat height, so you're able to walk the bike around, much more friendly to get on, much more friendly to use every day. Also, the weight is a big factor. Those higher cc bikes weigh a ton more than the 300 to 400 cc bike. And again, you want to be really comfortable on your first bike because you're learning the basics. You don't want to be too intimidated, you don't want to be too nervous, so it's why having something that's lighter is going to be even more advantageous for you, and it's going to make you a better rider. Also, another reason why you should not get over a 400cc bike is because the price. Your beginner bike, when you're learning to ride, you are going to drop your bike. It is not if, it is when. And when that happens, I think you would much rather it be a bike that is $4,000 to $5,000 than a bike that is $10,000, $13,000, $15,000. It's gonna hurt your pockets way less. So make all those beginner mistakes on a bike that's cheaper rather than on a bike that's expensive. Everything that I just said goes for riders with absolutely no motorcycle experience, or very, very, very little. Now let's say you guys have some good motorcycle experience, a little bit in the past. Let's say when you were younger or a teenager, you'd ride dirt bikes around, you understand all the basics, you understand how motorcycles act, everything about them. You're not really good, but you have a good understanding. Then I'd say you can start on a bike around this power level. So that would be anything around that 65 to 80 horsepower range, I think you'd be okay with. So if you have some motorcycle experience and you're getting your first street bike, then you could pick up a Yamaha MT-07, Yamaha R7, or you could pick up a Kawasaki Ninja 650, and you'd be okay with that. Regardless of what bike you get though, no matter how much power it is or how little power it is, you can seriously hurt yourself on one of these if you are not careful. So it's why you guys really need to be patient. Do not rush the learning process. There is absolutely no rush. Everybody goes at their own pace, so make sure to take your time, respect the throttle, respect the bike. Don't get cocky. Don't let your ego get ahead of you. Don't just try and ride to impress people. Ride to become a better rider and ride for yourself. Motorcycles are extremely fun, but they're extremely dangerous. So just, by all means, please take your time and ride safe.